Xin Ciao, what's up everybody? In this video today we're over at Thiem, kind of more of the Viet way of saying it. They don't say Thiem like I say, but in this video today I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks of things you should know before you move on over here. You should really consider these things before you move on over to Thiem. So, while it is an extremely hot area, very cool, it has one gigantic problem. I mean, you'll see, as I've talked about in the upcoming videos, I just really want to hammer down on the cons and the pros before the actual apartment videos come out. Like I said, the Galleria is already filmed over here. The Crest is already filmed over here. We've already seen the river. This, I gotta remember to pan slower, is the Opera. We're gonna take a look at that soon. And that is Empire City. Now the common denominator between all these and what's the problem? Before a minute, I wanna get to this before a minute and a half. They all have a ravaged problem with Airbnb. Like that is prevalent beyond the word bad. It's not just a few people, it's a lot of people, and it doesn't settle down in numbers, it increases. One of these apartments have figured out a way to solve it, which kind of is the same deal that Golden River did. You're gonna see why. Again, this is a pro. I'm all over the place. I'm not your standard YouTuber making fancy lists and stuff on this channel, but you're gonna see why this is a hot area. So you've got Vinh Thanh right there, Vinhome Central Park, and then you got Vinhome Golden River right here, and then you've got Mastery's Grand whatever, I don't even know. They sold it to somebody, so it'll become something else. And then you've got all of Thiem going into Nguyen Way, going off to the distance there of District 4 and then District 7. You're literally dead nuts in the middle of Saigon. So this property, as far as living, is phenomenal. But the gigantic, we're gonna walk this way, because I got 2 more videos to film down here. We're doing nighttime shoots again. The gigantic problem with all these apartments that you can't get away from is the Airbnb crisis. I don't even call it a problem, it's a crisis. I would say on average, each building has, I would say 60% of its units that were sold for an investment purpose of a short-term rental. And my guess would be they were sold in that way as well. So they were sold in a fashion to which they were told that they could nightly rental and make better gains. I really think that's the only possible way that all these kind of came up at the same time. Sure, it's possible it happened in other ways, but you know, the other thing which happened in Vinhome's Golden River, for sure, is the promise of value when it wasn't there. You know, I think these are supposed to be worth like $1 million now, the original Golden Rivers, which, you know, they're at best worth. My first unit we stayed at, still on the market. What's it on the market for? 360 or 404? 360 to 400, but it's been on there since I've been here. That's the 2-bedroom for $1,000 we had. And then the apartment I left, I think is still on the market now too. Golden River is the only thing that still has a massive amount of inventory. So if you're looking for value and luxury, even though it's a bit dated, Vinhome's Golden River is your best value right now. If you're looking for family, luxury, restaurants, community, a big park, you don't care about location, Vinhome Central Park. If you want modern money, the newest, hottest area, like the hip area coming up, Thiem. I know I'm saying it wrong. Now, the Galleria, one of the properties, a part of the Metropole, there's a bunch more popping up soon too, has installed facial recognition systems across all the systems in the past week. So they've been able to actively neutralize almost all Airbnb rentals from accessing the entertainment grounds, which is how it should be. They need to go a step further and put them in the elevators and then make them use the service elevator. You know, your experience, since you have to realize too, people are like, let them do the Airbnb, it's profit, profit, profit. It's illegal here. So, period. There is no, you can cry river all you want. It's actually not even legally allowed in Saigon, in that district, in any kind of way. So, they're performing an illegal business. And then they're probably not paying taxes on it. It goes way deeper than what you're even thinking. So like I said, the Galleria has managed to solve a little bit of its problem. They need to go a step further and just, you know, activate. Golden River was able to snuff it out aggressively with a thumbprint system and a fingerprint system. They simply just implemented, right when I moved in, you know, a lot of people were using cards. And then they made people use the fingerprints. And then they started checking people at the pool and started making people use their fingerprints at the pool. They had the systems, but they started making people use them. And then the Airbnb went out pretty quickly. It actually toppled before COVID came. There was a bunch of Korean little ones in there. And I suspect, from what I've seen, there's a bunch of the same thing operating here, these little Korean shops. Like mom and pop, not even a mom and pop, but like a small Korean shortly rental for just Koreans, all in Korean, and ran by somebody speaking Korean. But still, at the end of the day, some Vietnamese doing it for like 10,000 dong an hour for like nothing. You know, you have to understand that the people come here to do that, to make that money. That's how they look at Vietnam. Oh, we're gonna come here and do this shit because it's as cheap as possible, and we'll take advantage of the labor and we'll make big profit off their back. And I have the big money. There's nothing. You know what I'm saying? But to the catch side to that, again, absolutely phenomenal place to live. You've got some great pools. I think Galleria, you'll see on the video, has a salt pool. The Crest has a 360 pool you'll see as well. This has an infinity pool at the Opera that you'll see. The Opera has a huge problem with just Airbnb rentals right now, and Empire City as well. I've actually heard from every person in one of these buildings, and they all have confirmed exactly what I've said. So if you're in the Galleria, let me know how the facial recognition system is going. If you live in any of these buildings, let me know how your experience is going. I still recommend Thiem if you've got, I wouldn't even say the money. It's still crazy to me that we debate that like $1,000 is way too much rent in Saigon. Yeah, we're getting to a point of like where you're talking anything past $1,200-1,300 is crazy, but you know, setting around the $1,000 median price for a quality apartment is right. I don't know what to tell you. And if you kind of think different, you haven't been in this market enough and you don't know enough about that kind of market. There's always going to be smaller apartment buildings, older apartments, deals on apartments, and then more non-desirable type apartment buildings. So there's always going to be somebody that's going to get that deal and that's going to, you know, happily live in not the greatest of living conditions to what most of us would think. But to them, they might be able to sacrifice some stuff to save some money. So the problem of the Airbnbs in Thiem is not just Thiem, it's also in District 4, as you saw when we walked around there. I heard Golden River still is not having a problem, so if you don't want to deal with it at all, Golden River is still going to be your premier choice for no Airbnbs, or at least not noticeable. You're not going to rock out to the pool in Golden River and see tourists. It's just not going to happen. I never saw that in my, 4 years of living there, so I highly doubt that you're going to start seeing it. Golden River's got a lot of beautiful women working there, or living there, I mean. There's a lot of bar girls there and a lot of girls that are like whatever social media influencers. The line of social media influencer into prostitution has a thin line here though, so I kind of classify them all in the same work. Probably not the greatest way to look at it, but I mean, if we're going to be truthful, it's kind of the way it is. There's a lot of them now in Thiem. A lot of those girls are all moving to Thiem now. Like if you go to the gym at any of these places during the day, you know, when that's the off time of a girl that works at night, you'll see them at the gym, at the pool tanning, you know, doing all kinds of stuff around the grounds. And these apartments are phenomenal when they don't have an Airbnb in them. You know, they're so good. They're what they should be. You're paying a little bit more of a premium, so you have access to a great pool, a good gym, you know, a quiet, soundproof apartment, modern everything, you know, shit that works right, things you don't have to worry about. But having all these people come in, you know, a lot of the main people that are the problem tourists are the Vietnamese in these buildings. It's sad to say. I mean it with peace and love, but they smoke in the units, they trash the units, you know, they go to the pool and leave trash by the pool, smoke everywhere. You know, they're not used to, I don't want to go on and on into that tangent, but like all these people should be at hotels to begin with. I don't know who the fuck came up with the idea that think this shit's the new hotel plaza. Like, it's very, 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 very fucking frustrating to go to your pool at noon to go take a bunch of laps, and there's fucking a family from Norway of 85 with kids with like pool toys and shit splashing everywhere that have no business being there. Now, if I signed up for that, or if you signed up for that and you're at like a hotel or a water park or something, cool. And we're not talking this is just like a random once a week occurrence. This is a daily occurrence. So they're active hotels, you know. I would say any one of these are operating. I would say the Opera right now is operating 20 of those. 20 of the probably 30 apartments that are on total in there maybe right now, or 20 out of the 25 are on short-term rental. I would say the Galleria, half of that's short-term rental, and I would say half the Crest, if not more, is short-term rental. So you're talking, you know, 10, 20 units in each building that are actively getting short-term rentaled on a nightly basis. And you've got all these different cleaning people coming in the buildings for each little business, mom and pop hotel that's being run there. It's a complete and entire shit show. Like, they can't even take the trash out in the service elevator because there's so much different staff there catering to all the different little Airbnbs there. I mean, I could go on like a 4-hour sermon on how crazy it is, but still at the end of the day, you have to solve the problem. It's not going to be a forever thing. There's just people that, this happened exactly at Golden River, like I said. It was a crazy free-for-all when I first moved there. There was Korean dudes coming left and right like rapid automatic fire out of an assault rifle. So, I mean, they figured out to get a handle on it. I promise you, people, as they live here more, will just complain and lose their shit. Like, I assume in Galleria, that's how they got the facial recognition system, and continue to move forward. So, hopefully, all these buildings do that. It doesn't seem that any actual legalities and legal stuff is going to do anything. Now, if you're watching this for some reason as a tourist, there is no reason to stay in an Airbnb over there. The location's fucking trash. Pardon my France, but it's terrible for a tourist. The location's just, you can't walk anywhere. I mean, you technically could, but by the time you walk across the bridge, because there's zero cloud coverage, and you know, you're gonna be walking across this bridge and then across over here, down to here, it's gonna take you about 45 minutes, depending on who you are. You're so far from shit you need to be. You're far better serviced to stay at an actual hotel in this area, where they all are conveniently located for that reason. I mean, crazy, right? The other thing, if you stay in Thiem as a tourist, people are gonna be mean to you, man. I see people at these buildings actively fucking yipe. Oh, I gotta stop cussing. We can kind of cuss a little bit after 10 minutes. I don't want to drop too many F-bombs. We've been cleaning it up, but you can actively see people getting little squabbles at these buildings with the tourists every day, the residents. Because I'm sure they're frustrated after living here, especially people that have bought their apartments, you know. I don't know how I would feel if I actually bought my apartment. I'd probably really lose my shit. But I think these apartments are vastly overpriced. So that's why you see all these people trying to Airbnb them out. But to that end, you made a shitty investment in just buying an apartment there to begin with. And you're trying to push your shitty investment onto the customer. And it backfired. Nobody rented them. So now they have to do this short-term rental stuff. We'll see how it goes. I think the exact same thing that happened in Golden River will happen to all of these. They have no choice. Look how populated Golden River is. Even though there's inventory, look how many lights are on. Look how many people are staying there. There's a huge active community there, and it has zero Airbnb issues. Like zero, because they have the thumbprint system. So I mean, it'll be a matter of time before they have to pretty much collect a monthly rent and take the loss for their unit and understand that their profits are never gonna come like how they thought they would. Do I think the subway line is gonna be a game changer? Sure. When's it gonna open? I mean, it's almost entertaining. But I can tell you just from, I've taken that District 9 bus a lot. That thing isn't overly full even during rush hour. I'm gonna do another video going there because there's so much interest of people living there. But we're just gonna go there just in rush hour and then go walk around that area at night when people are there. And the buses aren't even like bombed out yet, meaning like they're not full of people. So I mean, I still think the subway will make the prices be a vastly different thing. I still think the deals are good. You know, you can get a 1-bedroom for around fully furnished Galleria for 24 million, kind of all of them 24 million fully furnished 1-bedroom starting. And then, you know, 2-bedroom, you can add hundreds and hundreds as you go up and floors and all that stuff. But, you know, for under $1,000, you can start getting into Thiem. Everything I talk about is for long-term rentals, by the way. I do not do much of anything with short-term rentals. I have no interest in it. The short-term rental market's technically illegal in Saigon. I'm not going to get wrapped up in all that stuff. There's plenty of other people online that facilitate that stuff. And understandable if you do want to stay in those. I don't hate you. Yeah. I am not an Airbnb user myself. I think we all have figured that out if you're a viewer of the channel. I don't think they put you in ideal locations of where you want to be in a city usually. Maybe sometimes, and usually there's some hostility if people know you're staying at an Airbnb too. You know, go figure. Especially people that have lived in a building longer, etc. So I think that's it. I think that's all I can say about Thiem. I know I still said it wrong. If it changes, if they improve things, if they actually move in some kind of doing anything about this stuff, aka like having police come and trying to enforce these laws at any of these places, you know, they even passed more stricter ones on the 1st of this month, I will certainly make a video and talk all about it. As far as I can tell, there will be no change whatsoever. This is the future for now and for a while. The only thing I think that can happen is you're gonna get facial recognition or a more aggressive Thiem print, some kind of biometric systems like the one building's already done to compete with, to just try to put some kind of stomple on it, you know, so they don't have an issue. They put one of the signs over here, one of the signs over here. They built another one here. They were gonna put it all along here. And then I'm gonna guess somebody complained. The other thing, as I talked about in 2 or 3 other videos, just to cover it again if you're a first-time watcher, is the carnival that they put in front of the opera is the weirdest thing ever. I have no idea who, words can't even explain the carnival. You'll be able to take a look at it when we actually are inside the apartment and looking at one on the balcony. I hope that answered some questions for you. If you asked me if I would move to Thiem, yes. Do I hate the Airbnb problem? Yes. Is there much you can do about it? No. Is it in a lot of apartments that are desirable all around Saigon, Hanoi, and Da Nang? Oh yeah. So it's just a thing right now. Not much you can do, Buttercup, but just something to be aware and to factor in with your move and or stay here. As ever, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We really talked on that one. I know it's cropped up on my face, but I like to have the stable control on. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Stay frosty. Peace out.